In August of 1914, the German Empire marched into the First World War with one of the most disciplined, technologically advanced, and meticulously organized armies on the planet. Rooted in Prussian military tradition and sharpened by decades of reform, the Imperial German Army, the Deutsches Heer, entered the conflict as a modern war machine built for speed, precision, and overwhelming firepower. This is the story of that army, its structure, its weapons, and the men who fought in its ranks. Infantry, the Iron Corps of the Kaiser Reich. The backbone of the German army was the infantry regiment. Each regiment was a tightly structured formation made up of 3 battalions, and each battalion containing 4 companies. Supporting them were machine gun detachments, signals teams, medical sections, and ammunition trains that kept the regiment supplied under fire. In 1914, German infantry marched into battle wearing the iconic Pickelhaube helmet and dark blue tunics, but as the war settled into the trenches, the army shifted to the practical field gray uniform, and in 1916 introduced the Stahlhelm, a steel helmet whose silhouette would become one of the most recognizable images of the war. The infantry's primary weapon was the Gewehr 98, a long, accurate bolt-action rifle with a 5-round internal magazine. Attached to it was the fearsome 9805 Butcher Blade bayonet, a brutal tool for close-quarters fighting. Supporting the riflemen were the MG08 heavy machine guns, water-cooled, belt-fed, and capable of firing over 500 rounds per minute. These guns anchored defensive positions and shredded attacking formations with devastating efficiency. Jager, the light infantry. Alongside the line infantry were the Jager battalions, elite light infantry trained for reconnaissance, skirmishing, and combat in forests and mountains. Jager troops were among the first to adopt camouflage, flexible tactics, and scoped rifles for long-range precision shooting. Their mobility and marksmanship made them invaluable in the early war of movement, and later in trench raids and infiltration missions. Sturmtruppen, the stormtroopers. By 1916, the stalemate of trench warfare forced Germany to innovate. The result was the creation of Sturmtruppen, or stormtroopers, small, highly trained assault units designed to break through enemy lines using speed, surprise, and overwhelming close-range firepower. Stormtrooper squads were typically 6 to 10 men, each with specialized roles: grenadiers armed with bundles of stick grenades, riflemen with shortened carbines, machine gunners carrying the lighter MG0815, and pioneers equipped with flamethrowers and explosives. Their tactics emphasized infiltration, slipping through weak points, bypassing strongholds, and collapsing the enemy line from within. Late in the war, some stormtroopers carried the MP-18, the world's first practical submachine gun, capable of firing pistol rounds in rapid short bursts. It was a glimpse of the future of infantry combat. Artillery, the hammer of the empire. If the infantry was the backbone of the German army, the artillery was its hammer. Germany entered the war with some of the most advanced artillery in Europe. Field batteries were equipped with the 7.7mm FK-96NA, a fast-firing, accurate field gun, and the 10.5cm light howitzer, which delivered high explosive shells in a steep arc ideal for trench warfare. Behind them stood the heavy artillery, the 15cm howitzers, the 20cm mortars, and long-range cannons capable of striking targets miles away. These guns shattered fortifications, pulverized trenches, and dueled enemy batteries in thunderous exchanges that shook the earth. But the most feared weapons were the super heavy siege guns. The massive centimeter Big Bertha howitzers and the enormous Gamma Morser could fire shells weighing over a ton. In 1914, they reduced Belgian forts to rubble in days, shocking the world with their destructive power. For close-range trench fighting, Germany deployed the Mannenwaffe, or trench mortar, available in light, medium, and heavy versions. These mortars hurled explosive charges that collapsed dugouts, shredded barbed wire, and cleared the way for stormtrooper assaults. But you know what else would shock the world with its destructive power? You hitting the like and subscribe button right now. Pioneers. The pioneers, or combat engineers, were among the most versatile and dangerous units in the army. They built trenches, laid barbed wire, constructed bridges, dug tunnels, and handled explosives. They also operated one of the most terrifying weapons of the war, the flamethrower. Germany pioneered flamethrower warfare with the Klein Flammenwaffe and the large crew-operated Glubflammenwaffe. These weapons projected jets of burning fuel into trenches and bunkers, clearing enemy positions with fire and shock. Flamethrower teams often worked alongside stormtroopers during major offensives, creating chaos and panic in enemy lines. Cavalry, the last charge of a dying age. At the start of the war, Germany fielded traditional cavalry units, Uhlans with lances, hussars with sabers, cuirassiers in gleaming breastplates, and dragoons trained to fight on foot and horseback. But the age of cavalry was ending. Machine guns, trenches, and barbed wire made mounted charges suicidal. By 1915, most cavalry units fought dismounted, serving as scouts, messengers, and reserve infantry. Tanks, the Empire's late experiment. Germany entered the tank race late. Its only domestically designed tank to see combat was the A7V Sturmpanzerwagen, a massive armored box on tracks, crewed by 18 men. Armed with a 57mm cannon and 6 machine guns, it was powerful, but slow and mechanically unreliable. Only 20 were built. To supplement them, Germany captured and reused dozens of British Mark IV tanks, repainting them with iron crosses and fitting them with German machine guns. These captured tanks often performed better than the A7V itself. The legacy of the Kaiser's army. By 1918, the Imperial German army had transformed from a mobile, disciplined 19th century force into a hardened trench-fighting machine. Its innovations, stormtroopers, flamethrowers, trench mortars, infiltration tactics, shaped the future of warfare. Though the Empire fell, the legacy of its army endured in the doctrines and technologies that defined the 20th century. This was the army of the German Empire, forged in discipline, tested in fire, and remembered as one of the most formidable fighting forces in human history.